If you've only been watching Fox News ever since the US started this war in Iran, you've no idea how the war is going. Because you've been lied to and fooled to the point where you've become pretty delusional. And it's hard to blame people that watch only one type of media in America to be delusional, because the leadership, the country's leadership that's on that media is also delusional. The conversation on many American news outlets is still regarding this deal that they're hoping will be made. I'm not sure what kind of deal you're expecting here. This is war. It's a war you started, now it's a war that you're losing pretty severely at this point. And there's a very strong opinion that the requests that the Iranians are now making are very unreasonable. Well, let's have a look at these requests. First of all, Iran wants a complete stop to this war. Isn't that what everybody wants? Also, they want to stop Israel's bombing indiscriminately of women and children, primarily in southern Lebanon and Gaza, to come to an end. And surely that's something that we all want to come to an end. And it seemed completely preposterous to a lot of American news reporters that I've been listening to throughout the weekend that Iran are now asking for repercussions to be paid to them for this war. This seems ridiculous to a lot of Americans, because you have the mindset that this war is justified. Well, what if it wasn't justified? And it doesn't matter what I necessarily think about it at all. I'm not sharing with you what I think at all. All I'm saying is that the Iranians probably don't think it's justified. And now we're at the point where it doesn't matter what you think, really, because once again, we're in a war, and the outcome now is going to be forced through, not necessarily accepted. And JD Vance was on Fox News as well today, saying that their plan is to outweight the Iranians. That if the Iranians keep the closure on the Strait of Hormuz, or keep on attacking ships in the Strait of Hormuz, that they'll leave their naval blockade intact as well, so that basically no shipping is going in or out. And JD Vance seems to think that America can outweigh Iran, because inflation is now so high in Iran, and because the economy is starting to do extremely poorly. Obviously, this blockade is affecting them massively. For the IRGC, this is a religious war. They're willing to die for this cause. The cost of bread and rice going up isn't going to stop them from fighting. But there will be one group of people who will give in once prices start getting too high. And that's the Americans, when they start paying too much for gas at the pump. 20% of the global supply, our global demand for oil and gas, used to go in and out of the strait before this war started. And now there's extremely few ships going in and out of the strait, and this may remain to be the case for a while. And there were big things that were done to keep the price of oil and gas and petrol and diesel down overall before now. It was the using of the reserves, the strategic petroleum reserve in the US. Basically, they were using their own stockpiles. So too were China. China decided not to buy throughout this time. So that was millions of barrels, I think 3 or 4 million barrels of demand lost from the global market. And I think China were doing this because they are the ones playing 3D chess. Certainly it isn't Trump. That lad couldn't play snakes and ladders, except maybe he could play the snakes part of it. Regardless, I'm sure the price of gas has to go up again, because we've been without this supply now for quite a few months now, and I don't think we can go quite a few more months without this causing a big problem. And like I said, this will drive gas prices up in America as well, and I think they will be the ones to capitulate first because of economic reasons. So I think this will turn out to be a massive strategic military loss for the US. I think it'll turn out to be quite a disaster, really, and I think this will actually be Trump's legacy. And again, if you think America are winning or in control here, or if Trump has all the cards, or if you think America can outweigh Iran, you're listening to the wrong news.